few months after the launch of its first trailer, the Nintendo Switch has officially been revealed by Nintendo. We've got a handful of launch titles, and importantly, we've got a price point. $299 if you're in the US, or £279 in the UK. Glenn is up in London playing the console as we speak, but for the time being, I just want to focus on that price point for a moment. People have understandably been a little bit concerned by it, because it was rumoured it would cost maybe around £200 for the console, with maybe a £250 price tag for the bundle. As Nintendo's consoles are usually less technically powerful than Microsoft and Sony's offerings, and people do tend to equate value with power, rightly or wrongly, this £200 to £250 margin seemed kind of reasonable. Some people have been kind of bummed out at discovering it starts at £280, and what's more, some of the games are up for pre-order at £59.99. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Skyrim? Skyrim? After disappointing sales of the Wii U, Nintendo could really do with a lot of people buying this console. And hey, a lot of stores offering pre-orders have already sold out, so it looks like there'll be a decent initial launch take-up. Thing is, I've spoken to a lot of people, and I'm sure you guys have too, who think that this is actually quite expensive for what it is, which in some ways is kind of funny, because when the Xbox One launched over here, it was £400, so 280 quid, not that big a deal you'd think. Problem is, with Nintendo's launch cycle kind of overlapping with Microsoft and Sony's, their console now seems expensive in comparison to, say, a PlayStation, which you can buy in a bundle with a game for around about £200 now. As a handheld console, it's even more pricey, compared to the 180 quid for a 3DS, or around the same price now for a PlayStation Vita. So, whether you look at it as a handheld or a home console, it's still quite a bit more expensive than any of its competitors right now. However, it's the cost of the peripherals that has our eyes watering. If you want to buy a pair of Switch controllers, and they only come in pairs, £75, and that's without the little plug-in charger hand grip unit, which costs another £28, so it's over £100 if you want the full thing. And let's not forget, this is a console designed around multiplayer gaming, so if you want a game with 4 people, it's gonna cost you. Also, £60 for Skyrim? Skyrim! Now, I know it's a shame to get hung up on stuff like price when we're presented with awesome looking stuff like Super Mario Odyssey, which appears to be really creative and taking Mario in a new direction, and the Breath of the Wild, which is just absolutely gorgeous, and games like ARMS and 1-2 Switch, which appear to be using the controllers in a weird and innovative way. But in a world where playing games and consuming content for free has become normal, and after the end of 2016, which saw several AAA games failing to shift at £44, let alone 60 quid, there's a worry that Nintendo might be alienating the mass market a little bit with these price points. Of course, the Nintendo enthusiasts are going to buy it no matter what, and I bet you it's going to be a cracking console. But what Nintendo really needs at this point is for everybody to jump on board. In comparison to the launch of the Wii U, in which it wasn't exactly clear what that second screen was supposed to be used for, and as it turned out, the developers didn't really know either, and so half of them didn't even utilize it. Nintendo had generated so much goodwill with the launch trailer for the Switch. It made it so clear how the console was supposed to be used. It communicated the idea perfectly, and everyone was totally on board. After today's announcement, you could kind of hear the whole world going, oh. Not least because of the 6 hours to 2.5 hours of battery life and Skyrim. Now, it goes without saying that that price point will eventually come down in the same way as the PS4 and the Xbox One did. But Nintendo consoles tend to hold their value a little bit better than Microsoft or Sony, so I'm not sure how much it's going to creep down by and how soon. I can't wait to get my hands on it personally, And I really want this to be a huge success for Nintendo. They need it at this point if they're going to realistically stay in the hardware game. I'm not suggesting the Switch isn't worth $299 or £279, but I am saying that people were expecting it to be a bit less. And when people's expectations are let down, they can get a bit hostile and it can kill your product. Now, Pocket Gamer's Glenn and I will be discussing the games that he played this very day in an upcoming video, so stay tuned to see our hands-on impressions with the new Nintendo Switch launch lineup. In the meantime, have you already pre-ordered the Nintendo Switch? Or is it a little bit rich for your blood? Let us know in the comments below, and we will see you next time.